I'm going to go into more detail with the God is love argument. And my first question in general to that statement is, what does that even mean? I mean, come on, love isn't at least according to many theists, God is some tangible thing. I mean, the universe wasn't created by emotions. I mean, you could argue that the universe was created as a result of emotions happening in the mind of God, but then God isn't love, God has love. It seems love isn't a tangible thing. I mean, without a mind to experience love, there's no such thing as love. I mean, rocks don't love, and there's no like big ball of love that you can buy at the store. Well, maybe if you go to Forbidden Fruit here in Austin or something. I haven't checked for those, but so in the first place, that doesn't even make any sense to me. It's kind of like saying God is speech.
Yeah, it seems like a kind of an exaggeration, oversimplification thing, right, which is just so prevalent in religious language. The way that religious people describe things, it's largely exaggerated and often oversimplified. It's like, oh, God is love, and God is peace and joy and understanding. And
well, I would be happy with that just as a metaphor. Yeah. You know, like God is love. You know, love is chocolate. That makes sense to me. But I was interested when people started calling in, and this happened more than once, and they started to argue that God was love as proof of God, as if it weren't just some poetic notion that they had, but they actually were literally meaning God is love, and we're trying to argue for this in some way.
It'd be the rough equivalent of saying God is peanut butter exists, therefore God exists.
Right.
Congratulations, you win. Why didn't I think of that? Exactly how did peanut butter create the universe?
And it seems to me that trying to equate God with love is just another example, which is pretty common, of Christianity or some other religion trying to co-opt a concept which we already think of as good and then sticking their God in there. So that you'll have happy feelings about their God and then feel bad for trying to argue against it. I mean, you know, they're taking credit for things that we already like. Like God is love, God is the source of our laws. Look, it says, right, thou shalt not kill. You know, even though every culture has had an issue with killing, regardless of whether they were religious or not.
In fairness, though, I think a lot of, you know, having been a Christian in the past and having talked to a lot of them, I think what a lot of them mean when they say God is love is that God is the source of love.
Right.
And so the way they use this as a proof is love exists, and we assert without evidence that God is the source of love, and therefore, since love exists, God must exist. The problem is that your assertion that God is the source of love is completely unproven, and you can't use love to justify that because that's circular.
Right.
So my question, you know, the question that we get a lot of is, well, where does love come from? Well, it comes from your brain. I mean,
before there were brains, there wasn't any love.
Yeah, if there's something else, if you have this belief that there's something behind it, whether it's God feeding love into our brain, or a transcendent soul that is in our body somehow that uses our brain to experience love, that's something you actually need to demonstrate, because you're violating Occam's razor. You're adding another claim that's unjustified and, by the way, unnecessary. As far as we can tell, there's no reason, there's no justification for going beyond the boundaries of the brain when trying to come up with an explanation for where love comes from or what it is.